It's a new year, Saints fans, and although it's been a while since we said goodbye to 2021, we now turn our attention toward the second half of the season for St. Martin's basketball, and we're now setting our sights squarely and exclusively on the GNAC portion of the Saints' remaining schedule, starting against a very familiar foe here tonight. Well, good evening, everybody, and thank you for tuning in for another edition of St. Martin's basketball. Alongside Saints Director of Athletic Communications, Austin Burns, I'm Jeff Lucero. Happy to be here with you for the live broadcast on the Saints Digital Network. Our nightcap of tonight's GNAC doubleheader pits the Saints against a longtime league rival from north of the border. Simon Fraser's in town. We'd also like to welcome in any SFU fans tuning in internationally tonight. Very nice to have you along for the broadcast as well. We'll talk matchup shortly, but first, let's chat about the home team. And for the Saints, they come into tonight's game feeling awfully darn good about themselves, and they oughta, with Thursday's dramatic yet decisive victory over Western Washington. The Saints have now ripped off 6 consecutive wins, the Saints' longest winning streak since head coach Aaron Landon took over at St. Martin's just 2 seasons ago. In what was billed as a matchup of the GNAC 2 best offensive teams, it was the Saints who got off to a raging hot start against the Vikings, punching them square in the mouth while racing out to a 13-4 lead just 2.5 minutes into the game. Check this out. Each of the 5 starters for the Saints scored a bucket apiece to get things flowing early. The Saints continue to stay sharp offensively against the Vikings and took their biggest halftime lead of 11 into the halftime break. However, the start of the second half took a bit of a different turn. Minute by minute, the Saints' lead began to dwindle until the Vikings came all the way back to take their first lead of the minutes to play, but it did not last long. The teams traded baskets for a minute or so before the Saints' Kyle Greeley took the game over for St. Martin's, scoring 7 straight and 9 of 11 for St. Martin's. It was still a 2-point game with 2:45 to play, but the Saints locked in on D and finished the game strong with a 13-4 run to complete the hard-nosed, hard-fought win, which improved the Saints' record to 10-3 overall and 3-1 in GNAC play. Again, the Saints' 6th straight win overall. And in case you're wondering, that's the longest winning streak in 3 years for the Saints, when they had 2 separate winning streaks of 7 and 8 games on their way to that amazing, memorable 26-6 season. Let's now bring in Austin Burns to the broadcast. And Austin, sure, winning streaks sure are nice. They're a surefire indicator that a team is playing well on a night-in, night-out basis. But what head coach Aaron Landon had to be especially stoked about that night was 2 things. On a night they played without one of their best players, in Alex Schumacher, who was the star of the night in the Saints' previous win against Montana State Billings last weekend. He was out with an injury on Thursday. The Saints still found a way to earn a huge league win. But perhaps most importantly, they started strong and they finished strong. They opened and closed the game against the Vikings with identical 13-4 runs. That's the kind of thing that had to be very satisfying for Saints head coach Aaron Landon Thursday night.
Jeff, you never want to lose a player at the caliber of Alex Schumacher, but this team has so many weapons that they can just plug and play. You put Christian Hafner in the lineup. He starts the game off with a couple 3-pointers, immediately putting the pressure on the Vikings, and the Saints just used that and rolled for most of the game. You know, this Saints team, they can score. There's no doubt about it. Their defense, you know, when it's locked in, they become almost unbeatable. They really do. But this offense is the key, and they have so many weapons. You know, you saw a lot of great guard play. You know, we're going to talk about him a lot here tonight. Jaden Nielsen Skinner is skinny. What a player he's been. He has, for my opinion, his name's right there at the top for the Conference Player of the Year. He just does so many things for the Saints. He gets everybody rolling. The assist numbers are off the charts. We could go on and on. But this Saints team can flat out score. You know, and watch down low tonight, Brett Reed, Marky Adams. They're going to have to be ready to get going soon. because Simon Fraser, they're missing two of the best players in the conference.
Yeah, you talked about it right there. There's two big, glaring, gaping holes in that Simon Fraser front line. We'll talk about that in just a moment when we preview this game for Simon Fraser and what we've seen out of him so far this season. By the way, quick injury update. Alex Schumacher unavailable yet again tonight. His back still bothering him, and he's head coach Aaron Landon sharing with me earlier today, too, that he's unlikely to play in that makeup game on Martin Luther King Day on Monday afternoon up in Seattle at Royal Brom Pavilion against the Falcons. We'll take our one quick break here on the St. Martin's men's basketball pregame show, but fans, keep it locked. You're dialed in for the St. Martin's men's basketball pregame show. And welcome back to the Saints men's basketball pregame show, and it is time for a quick look at tonight's opponent for the Saints. Simon Fraser enters tonight's game with an overall record of 6-3. They are 1-0 in conference play. Why are they only 1-0? Because they've already had 3 league games derailed by postponements, after starting GNAC play with an overtime win at Western Washington way back in early December. Each of their next 3 conference matchups have had to be rescheduled. In fact, they have not played a game in more than a month. Their last game was played all the way back on December 7th. It's been a long time since we've seen Simon Fraser here in Marcus Pavilion. Unlike the Saints, they did not participate in the COVID-shortened men's basketball season in 2021. So in case you need reminding, they remain a steady and solid basketball program with a handful of guys that head coach Steve Hansen can call upon to get it done. They've also had good success of late in Marcus Pavilion, winning their last 2 games here in Lacey. Trouble is for Simon Fraser, though, we talked about this a moment ago, they're going to be without 2 of their very best players tonight. Just as the Saints are without Alex Schumacher, Simon Fraser's 2 monsters down on the low blocks, Julian Roche and Jasdeep Singh, are both unavailable for this game. Huge news just now coming out pregame here this evening. Aaron Landon told me earlier today that the Saints had built their pregame scouting report around stopping those 2 players specifically. Well, you can throw that out the window as neither will be dressed for this game. So in their absence, who is head coach Steve Hansen likely to turn to? Well, lucky for him, he's got some other extremely talented dudes on his roster. First among them, how about D1 transfer Jordan Lyons? The 6'7 senior is a richly skilled player. He started just 1 game so far, but his numbers are absolutely nuts. Despite playing just 20 minutes per game, he's averaging 12.5 points per game, and he's very, very active at both ends of the floor. Next up, Wilfred Balada. Despite missing 5 games, the 6'4 sophomore is picking up right where he left off after breaking out in a very big way as a freshman 2 years ago. He's now averaging 12.3 points and just under 5 rebounds per game. Also, keep an eye out for Jamal Wright tonight, another of the 3 D1 transfers on this team. Saints head coach Aaron Landon shared with me earlier today that although he's been a little buried on their depth chart, he could play a big role tonight with both Roche and Singh out. He's also started 7 of the 9 games for the Simon Fraser team. And we haven't even mentioned point guard David Penny. The talented 6'1 sophomore is second in the GNAC both in assists and steals per game. Overall, Simon Fraser averages about 79.5 points per game. They shoot nearly 48% from the floor, but just 31% from three, and a GNAC worst 60% at the foul line. So, Austin, here's what's in store tonight. We have two of the best offenses in the league just about set to hit the deck, but both of them missing weapons in their arsenals, particularly for Simon Fraser when you consider they're missing not only their top two scorers, but also two game-changing post defenders. The Saints proved they could get it done with one of their true stars in Alex Schumacher 2 nights ago against Western Washington. By the way, Aaron Landon told me they're also likely to be without him against Seattle Pacific on Monday. So can they get it done against a shorthanded Simon Fraser club that hasn't played a game in nearly 6 weeks here tonight?
Jeff, I would give my left arm to see both these teams healthy here tonight because we're missing some superstars.
Yes.
And Roche, he is a matchup nightmare. 7 feet, does everything across the floor. They don't have him here tonight, but watch out for Penny, the point guard. He does so many things well for them. You know, when this whole team is healthy and going, He controls the offense. He moves the ball well, very smart, and he's a great defender as well. You know, Simon Fraser, they're going to go small, going to play 5 guards. You'll go ahead and see Lions kind of in that maybe 5 spot, but they're going to go real small. How are they going to match up against Brett Reed and Marky Adams down low, 2 of the best post players in the conference, without their 2 best post players?
With so much uncertainty coming into this one, this game promises to be wild, and I have a feeling it's going to be fascinating just seeing how each of these teams compensate as they adjust their game plans on the fly. Get pumped, fans. Tip-off is coming up on the other side of this break. This has been the St. Martin's Men's Basketball Pregame Show on the Saints Digital Network. And welcome back inside Marcus Pavilion. We're moments away now from tip-off between Simon Fraser and St. Martin's. By the way, just to keep everything clear, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Simon Fraser is in their red uniforms tonight. The Saints are in their traditional home whites. So lest there be confusion about who is who out there. Again, for the Saints tonight, they're going with the same starting 5 that they employed a couple of nights ago against Western Washington. Into the starting lineup come Tyke Thompson and Christian Hafner. Coming off the bench tonight, Marky Adams. Saints without the services, once again, of Alex Schumacher. We've got to talk about this a little bit more, Austin. We've seen the starting lineup now for Simon Fraser tonight. They're going to have to go much, much smaller. They're going to be missing those 2 big post players, Singh and Roche, so much as they work their way toward a victory against St. Martin's tonight.
Yeah, but they have great guards, Bellata, Lyons, and Penny. They can flat out play those guys. They just got Bellata back for the last few games before COVID took advantage and shut down for them for over a month. So, you know, is Russ going to be a factor? How do they come out? Again, first game since December 7th. And for the Saints, I think opening possession, that ball's going to try and get down low in the hands of Brett Reed. He's one of the most crafty, aggressive scorers you will see, and he's going to have all the options here tonight. Him and Marky Adams, you know, look for the Saints to go big to start, and then also they have great guard play. Christian Hafner, he started off the game red hot on Thursday. Can he do the same here and knock down a couple threes?
I'm really excited to see what Simon Fraser can do with both Jordan Lyons and Jamal Wright in the starting lineup. This only the second start of the season in 10 games for Jordan Lyons, but he is an electrifying talent. Both of those guys D1 transfers, but Canadian natives coming home to finish off their collegiate careers on their home soil. Once again, it's Simon Fraser in red, the Saints in white. Tip-off. The ball is in the air. We're underway. Men's basketball action between the Saints and Simon Fraser starts right now. Yeah, the shot clock did not start, so we'll get things set here. Simon Fraser controls the opening tip. They earn the first possession of the game. Lions to inbound after the shot clock is reset. Here on the near side handling is Drew Bryson. Now down low. Wilfred Bellotta with some space. Gets to the rack and lays it in. Wilfred Bellotta built a lot like Delonte Malloy for the Saints. A little bit taller, perhaps a little bit leaner. That same type of body, that same type of build. Greeley along the baseline. Feathers up a shot from 10 feet, falling out of bounds. It won't fall, and Bellotta steers it the other way. Taken away by Skinny. He'll race back and lay it off the glass for a finish from Ty Thompson. Oh, my goodness, a little bit of razzle-dazzle, some showtime to get things started, Austin. What do you think about that?
There's the Salem connection, leaves it for the teammate. Woo, love it. Wow, what an exciting start already.
Electrifying stuff. You saw Nielsen Skinner peek over his shoulder to see where the trailer was. Sets up Thompson perfectly. Good effort from Drew Bryson as he works his way methodically to the basket, lays it in. So a 4-2 lead for Simon Fraser early. But those 2 points for the Saints were heard round the world. Skinny on the drive, leaves it for Reed, one dribbling up. Count the basket, he'll head to the line for the and one. Jaden Nielsen Skinner already with 2 assists in the first minute and a half of this game.
I mean, if I had a preseason vote for Player of the Year, it'd be going to Skinny. I mean, he's been that much of an impact player. He does so many things right. I mean, it's one of those games where you look down at the stat line and you go, he's got 8 assists and 1 turnover. I mean, that's the kind of player he is. But Brett Reed, he's licking his chops. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
He knows he's going to have the advantage all night down low.
Yeah, and he makes the free throw. That's always big news. Elicited a big-time cheer from the bench when Reed made that free throw on the and one as well. Good help defense. Better drive, though, from Wilfred Bellotta. He's got 4 of the 6 points for Simon Fraser. Greeley gets his man in the air. Might have been fouled, doesn't matter. Powers through the contact and lays it up and in.
Well, the Saints score so fast. You have to get back in transition so fast. Skinny, that pass all the way up to Greeley. Again, that's what's pushing the tempo, and Simon Fraser just can't get set. But there's a defensive breakdown, another basket. Man, we had some defense in the first game tonight. We got some offense here tonight.
Bellotta already with 6 points in 2.5 minutes. He's on pace for about 217. Thompson steps out to get it. Now Hafner with his first touch. Dead-eye shooter for the Saints. Brett Reed comes out to set the screen out near the timeline. Now Skinny on the drive. Sealed off. Good defense. Now steps back. High arcing shot. Bounds off the rim. And back comes Simon Fraser the other way. They get into transition. And it's Drew Bryson leaving it at the rim for Jordan Lyons, who packs it in midair. High-flying action end-to-end so far in this game to get things going.
Yeah, you just have Simon Fraser right now with those 5 guard sets. The moment that ball is rebounded, it's a pass up the court, trying to push tempo quick so the Saints can't get set.
Greeley coming off a very, very good game, one of his best for the Saints. Perhaps his finest single-game performance, especially when you consider how pivotal he was when Western Washington came back and took a lead. Oh, my goodness, what's this? Here's an early development to keep an eye on. Jaden Nielsen Skinner has to come off the floor for the Saints. He's hobbling, and he appears to be in a decent amount of pain. Able to walk off under his own power, which is a good sign, but he is clearly frustrated with the pain he's in. He takes his seat, and Goy Wang now on the floor for the Saints, as is Marky Adams. So the Saints go very big here with one true guard on the floor. Ty Thompson steps into the passing lane, knocks that into the hands of Hafner.
Well, and Hafner, he's more of a shooting guard, but he's had to be thrust into the point guard role recently with now the absence of Schumacher and Nielsen Skinner, so he'll run point for the Saints.
A ton of contact beneath the basket on both of those shots for Brett Reed. No call and a foul on the floor whistled against St. Martin's. This has been a very exciting game to get things started. Simon Fraser having to adjust their game plan completely without their two bigs. Again, if you're just joining us, both Julian Roche and Jasdeep Singh not making the trip down from Burnaby for this game. Not sure what the situation is or why they're not here. But neither one of them on this road trip for Simon Fraser. A little bit of pressure in backcourt. Saints able to break it. They look down low for Adams for a moment. Now it's reading the high post. High-low game. Here's Marky Adams raising for the two-handed flush. Lets the defender fly by. And how about the high-low look as Brett Reed finds his postman colleague, Marky Adams, beneath the basket.
Yeah, and the Saints are going to run that offense a lot. You're going to see Brett Reed camp out right there around the free throw line. Marky Adams down low. How does Simon Fraser guard it? Another turnover down low, and the Saints are going to push.
Wang in the open court. No look pass beneath the basket to Ty Thompson. And Steve Hansen wants a timeout. How about the Saints in transition? You wouldn't have known Jaden Nielsen-Skinner wasn't on the floor for that particular look. As the Saints get this fast break opportunity.
Well, and another height advantage the Saints have is Tyke Thompson as well. I mean, he's about 6'7", 6'8", and he plays a lot of the time outside, but he can go down low now as a cutting guard, and there's not much Simon Fraser has in terms of height. I mean, it's a one-point game. Both offenses are flying. Saints are getting their looks down low. Bellata's been incredible to start this game. 6 points in the opening 2 minutes. I think if you're both squads, so you're happy with how you've started. Offense for sure. It's going to be a fun game here tonight. It's going to be a track meet.
Yeah, and if you're a St. Martin's fan looking over the roster for Simon Fraser, you'll also see that they've got a couple of other guys that stand 6'10 and 6'11 respectively, in Zach Stone and Dominic Postle, but both are redshirting this season. Neither of them have played a game for Simon Fraser, so presumably anyway, they're redshirting. So they are not available for this team tonight, who again is playing without their two top scorers and premier postmen in Jasdeep Singh and Julian Roche. Roche, one of those 3 Division I transfers. He comes back to Canada after spending the first part of his collegiate career playing for Santa Clara. That's a familiar foe for Gonzaga fans out there, a West Coast Conference rival for the Zags. Roche now finishing off his career, 7-footer. A glaring absence for Simon Fraser here this evening. Saints in a 2-3 zone. Bellata will try for 3. No good. Strong rebound cleared by Tyke Thompson. He works it across the timeline. Encouraging sign for the Saints. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner back on the bench for St. Martin's. He's got his shoes on, so let's hope he's able to give it a go here. Should Aaron Landon need to put him back in the game.
Oh, what a great defensive play there from Bellata. You're not going to be able to stand up Reed. He just uses that aggressive move from Reed, plays into the offensive foul.
No look pass picked off by Thompson. He handles here. He throws his own no look pass inside, but it's too much for Brett Reed to handle. Looks like it might have been touched by a Simon Fraser player after it went off the fingertips of Reed. Nevertheless, give possession back to Simon Fraser.
Well, again, Jeff, you talked about in the pregame show, Simon Fraser, not one of the best three-point shooting teams, about 31% as a squad. They use that down-low action to try and open up some outside stuff. Without that here, now you see the offense kind of a little stagnant at the top. They're going to have to try and use those cuts to get towards the basket.
They're having trouble with this 2-3 zone for now. 5 on the shot clock as Elliot Dimakulangan steps into a 3. That one bounds off and out of bounds back to the Saints. Simon Fraser, after a hot start, has gone fairly cold. They've missed their last 4, maybe 5 shots from the floor. They had an early 10-7 lead. They now trail 11-10. About 6 minutes gone by here early on in this game. Hafner picks up his dribble, reverses it back to Adams. Now it's Tyke Thompson. Cut off near the baseline. Circles back up top into the hands of Hafner. 10 on the shot clock. Adams comes out to set the screen. Hafner back to Thompson. 3 on the shot clock. Long 3 on the way. Air ball. Reed tries to save it in bounds, but it's a shot clock violation anyway.
Oh, great defense down low by Simon Fraser. Very, handsy with the bigs, making sure they aren't getting any easy looks down low. St. Martin's wants to get that ball, and they spent all that time trying to get a good look and couldn't get one.
Into the corner, it's Jovan Ray. Great drive there from David Penny as he gets loose along the baseline. Reverses one up and in. Corey Wang and David Penny exchanging pleasantries in the backcourt. Marky Adams back to the basket. Backs his man down, hands it off for Thompson inside, who finds Reed beneath the basket, but he leaves it short. He's fouled. He'll head to the line.
You got to love the play right there. Unselfish basketball. Adams could have just kept backing down. Instead, uses the cutter and Thompson. Thompson reads the help side defense rotating all over on him, and that opens up another dump pass to Reed. That's just unselfish basketball by the Saints.
Already, Brett Reed 2 for 2 from the free throw line. And Jaden Nielsen Skinner back on the floor for St. Martin's. Huge sigh of relief. You can breathe again, Saints fans. Skinny is back on the floor. No good on the second free throw. Rebound. Hauled down by Lions.
Oh, and the great thing also about having Skinny back, aside from his passing, is that allows Hafner now to move back into the shooting guard role and opens up one of the best three-point shooters in the conference.
Down low, raising for the two-handed flush. Jamal Wright set up perfectly by Jovan Rye. 2-point lead for Simon Fraser. Playing very, very well without their top 2 players. Now Reed on the drive. Gets to the rack, lays it up. Adams with the weak side offensive rebound, but it's stripped away from behind, and Adams commits the foul. David Penny just reached in, tore it away from Adams. And baits Adams into the foul call. So 3 teams apiece, 3 fouls apiece, I should say. The Saints back to a man-to-man defense, at least for the moment. Raising for the two-handed dunk is Jordan Lyons. Ah, goodness. We've seen some high-flying action so far in this thing.
Yeah, not many guys are going to challenge Marky Adams, but Lyons goes up right over the top of him.
At the other end, how about Kyle Greeley getting free for the 3 from the top of the key? Draws the Saints back within 1. Not a high-scoring game so far, but certainly very entertaining. Kind of seen it all already. Here's Rye on the drive. Little weave action up top. Down low it comes for Jamal Wright, but he travels with the basketball. It takes us to a stoppage in play. 11-12 left in the first. And Simon Fraser with a 1-point lead. Simon Fraser with the early 1-point advantage. Austin, not a ton of points scored in this thing, but it sure does feel that way.
Yeah, I mean, we had a blazing hot start, and then both teams have kind of settled down here a bit, kind of getting into the flow of things. St. Martin's is getting some looks down low. Simon Fraser's getting a lot of quick transition. Both teams playing well here to start. That's a tough call right there.
Well, head coach Aaron Landon sure disagreed. Their entire staff up on their feet, pleading their case on Marky Adams' behalf. Nevertheless, Adams called for the travel. Champ Spencer on the floor now for the first time tonight for the Saints. No look pass for Spencer from Skinny. Last touch by Spencer. So a couple of turnovers out of the last time out for St. Martin's.
I think the Saints just a little bit too quick there, just trying to push the envelope. I mean, that was kind of a Patrick Mahomes-style throw through 3 defenders. Just doesn't pay out. Saints, again, their defense really starting to play better, locking down and, not allowing Simon Fraser to get that ball inside. Now just need to come up on the offensive end with some good looks.
Penny on the drive. Now reverses it back to Rye. He makes his way toward the basket. Shot never had a chance at all. A couple of Saints defenders converge on him. No look pass from Skinny to Spencer. Blazes for 3 and crushes it. Champ Spencer with a wide open transition 3-pointer. Good to see the freshman get going as well.
I'll talk about the development for Champ Spencer. I mean, he was kind of buried to start the year, not getting a whole lot of minutes. He made them count. And Marky Adams, oh my goodness. We could hear that one all the way up here.
My goodness, Marky Adams just took that down. Looked like Lions had a step on him. Adams with a great recovery and a beautiful block. Kept the ball alive and gave it right back to the Saints as well. Penny on the drive. Cut off. He'll circle back up top between the circles and run the Simon Fraser offense.
I was starting to say about Spencer, though, he used a lot of those minutes in December, put a lot of great performances together, and getting more and more time on the floor.
Bellotta for 3. Too strong. Rye winds up with the offensive rebound. Shot clock winding down as Bellotta starts his drive. Wang stays with him, brings him right to Adams. Another block, 2 blocks for the Saints. Wang got the second after Adams had the first. However, Simon Fraser recovers and earns an extra possession. Is it a travel or a foul? It's one or the other. They'll call Adams for bodying up on Wilfred Bellotta beneath the basket. So the physicality starting to reveal itself in this game as well. Tyke Thompson and Velko Illich come onto the floor for the Saints. Marky Adams and Goy Wang taking a seat. And so happy to see Jaden Niels and Skinner back on the floor for St. Martin's. He was in a lot of pain when he hobbled off earlier. So that is a hugely important piece for the Saints back in this game.
Yeah, I think it just really calms this team, especially without Schumacher, getting Skinny back on the floor. This team, again, they're just at their best when he's running the point.
Here's David Penny with it, running the point for Simon Fraser. Under 10 on the shot clock as he starts his move. Great help defense from Illich. Now Penny gets into the paint, double clutches midair, no good. And Skinny steers it the other way. Saints with numbers for a moment. Touch pass into the corner for Greeley. 3 on the way, no good. Illich taps it back, but it rolls out of bounds. It'll stay with the Saints. That's an interesting call. That one looked very clearly to be off the hands of Velko Illich. I didn't see a Simon Fraser player touch it after that, but they will take it. So keep it at the Saints end with 21 showing on the shot clock. Nielsen Skinner works his way around the Illich screen. Now Thompson raises for 3 and buries it. Tyke Thompson pops free, flashes outside the 3-point line, takes the Nielsen Skinner pass and knocks it down. 5-point lead for the Saints.
Yeah, and Simon Fraser is so occupied to make sure that the lanes don't open up, that it just opens up a wide open 3 instead. And the answer, no good. And the Saints defense starting to lock down Simon Fraser. struggling as well from beyond the arc here. 0 for 5 to begin tonight.
Champ Spencer with it. Poked away momentarily by Bryson. Now Elich down in the low blocks with a size advantage. Kicks back for Spencer. He'll try a second three. Got it. Huge back-to-back threes for the Saints to extend the lead to 8. 24-16. First it was Thompson. Now it's Champ Spencer with his second three. And the Saints with their biggest lead.
Well, the moment the Saints bigs put the ball on the floor, that help side defender comes. They're just luring in the defender and kicking out for the open three.
Great hedge here from Elich again out near the timeline. Wright has it. Now kicks to the corner for Mastandria. Three won't fall. But the putback good for Jovan Rye. Much needed bucket for Simon Fraser. Now Skinny in transition. Kyle Greeley gets into the paint. Shovels a pass to Skinny, now gets it back, gets to the rack, lays it off the glass and in. Where was the defense for Simon Fraser there?
I don't know what the defense could have done. That was just unselfish ball movement. Go ahead and clip that one, roll it over and over and over in coach's film. I mean, Aaron Landon's going to be very happy about that possession right there.
Mastandria hands it off to Penny. Bodied by Nielsen Skinner. He and the referee exchange words. And I believe that will bring us to a stoppage and play, and it will. Saints with the 8-point lead with just under 6.5 to play. Saints with the 8-point lead. And Austin, how about this? Tyke Thompson, Kyle Greeley, and Champ Spencer, kind of all interchangeable parts. They kind of play similar positions with somewhat similar games. There's definitely some things that make each of them stand out in their own right, but they have combined for 20 of the Saints' first 26 points.
Yeah, and it's the length of those three guys. They can play all the way from the 2 down to the 4, and it creates matchup nightmares. And again, they're just unselfish. I think that's the biggest thing from those three guys is not one of them is going, I need my 15 points. They're naturally just going to get there. The Saints offense, it's clicking when those guys are going.
Saints back in that 2-3 zone. Nearly traveling was Dyson. Able to get the shot off as the shot clock expired was Dima Kulangan. A long 2, we'll call it. 26-20 the score. By the way, Saints with 9 assists on 10 made baskets already. Nielsen Skinner has 6 assists for this team in the early going. Hasn't scored, but 6 assists. Now Skinny thinks about it, drives, gets toward the rack, bounces off the rim. Elich can't get to the rebound, and here comes Penny the other way. Double dribble violation. So a couple of subs back into the game for the Saints. Tyke Thompson and Brett Reed back on the floor. So let's hit it for you. Kyle Greeley, Champ Spencer, Brett Reed, Tyke Thompson, and the ever-present Jaden Nielsen Skinner running the point for St. Martin's. Skinny drifts to his left out onto the near side wing. Trying to find Greeley. Good defense, however. Keeping that pass from being entered. Now in the high post, it's Brett Reed. Spins to the rack, switches to his right hand, but a little bit too strong with the finish. Simon Fraser races the other way. Bryson, taken away by Brett Reed. Thinks about leading the drive, thinks better of it. Skinny nearly fouled from behind, now backs up behind the arc. And Reed will come out to set the screen. Skinny to the rack, leaves it for Reed. Uses the rim for protection and lays it home, 28-20. Nielsen Skinner with his 7th assist in this game already.
Well, and he drew the defenders into a point where they had to commit to him. He got so deep into the lane before they stopped him, and that allows him to just dump it off for Reed. Finishes at the rack. Again, you have to stop the ball handler from getting that low, otherwise he's going to have any pass he wants for a guy cutting to the basket.
10 assists on 11 made baskets for the Saints. Shot clock winding down. Skinny's going to get perhaps another assist right here. No, it's Thompson leaving it for Reed. Skinny a little slow getting back to his feet. Yet another assist on a made basket for St. Martin's after Thompson dumps it off behind the back to the trailer, Brett Reed. Wet spot on the floor. We'll get that mopped up. And we've got a stoppage in play. The Saints now with a double-digit lead. Well, both teams were pretty careless with the basketball in the first 10 minutes of this game. Both teams had 6 turnovers apiece halfway through the first half. The Saints have really cleaned that up. They've got just 1 turnover in the last 6 minutes of game action. Instead of the game continues to be how well the Saints are sharing the basketball. Jaden Nielsen Skinner, 7 of the Saints' 11 assists on 12 made baskets. That's a big part of why, Austin, they're shooting 54.5% from the field. They're just doing a great job sharing the ball.
Well, they know they have the size advantage, and they're using that. They're making great cuts towards the basket, and you know their threes are even connecting as well. 4 of 6 so far. Great start for St. Martin's. But an interesting note, up by 10, bringing Adams back onto the floor with 2 fouls. Landon trusting his all-conference preseason big.
Good defensive stand from the Saints here. Wright trying to find some space. It's just not there. Bryson, a tough 3 on the way, falling out of bounds, no good. Saints cover up. Nothing doing out of the timeout. Another wide open look beneath the basket for Brett Reed, and Nielsen Skinner with 8 assists in this game. Oh, a tough foul called on Spencer at the other end. Austin, a 12-point lead for the Saints. 12 assists on 13 made baskets.
And you just love seeing big guys run the floor. Brett Reed hustling out on the turnover, making it out there quick, getting right into the lane. You love to see it.
Yeah, Reed's in double figures now. He's got a team-high 10 points.
Good move right there.
Yeah, David Penny with the mid-range floater. Able to knock that Jimmy home. We move to the 3-minute mark. Saints with a 10-point lead. Skinny rolls off the screen. He'll try for 3. Rainbow shot, no good. But Nielsen Skinner throws it off a Simon Fraser defender out of bounds into the Simon Fraser bench. It'll stay at the Saints end with 28 seconds on the shot clock. The Saints catch a little bit of a break there. If Nielsen Skinner doesn't get to that ball and Wright's able to control it, they had a wide open player streaking down the floor. Adams beneath the basket, swatted out of the sky. Big time block from Jordan Lyons. He races the other way, calling for it. Instead, it's just David Penny doing it himself, getting all the way to the 10 and laying it in.
I mean, Lyons just crazy athletic right there to make a block like that. He already challenged Adams and won once. I mean, this guy's got a lot of athleticism, and when you pair him with those bigs, he's a dangerous player.
Skinny, pump fake on the 3, steps into a mid-range jumper near the baseline, leaves it short. In transition, Lyons can't connect. And now Skinny brings it back the other way. Adams beneath the basket. Too short with it. Gathers it. One dribble, right back up, no good. He'll head to the line as he's fouled from behind.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and count. I think there were about 3 or 4 fouls. Adams had to fight through all of them. Finally gets the last one there called on him.
You never see Adams miss that close to the basket.
No.
He had the layup, and it would have been the 9th assist of the first half for Nielsen Skinner. So a tough break for St. Martin's there. And Adams unable to connect on the first of 2 free throws. Spencer makes his way back to the bench as Kyle Greeley is fresh on the floor for the Saints. Second free throw is good, and Adams will step away in favor of Christian Hafner. So Adams, with those 2 fouls, Austin, will head back to the bench probably for the last 2 minutes. Saints with a 9-point lead as we hit the 2-minute mark of the first half.
Well, yeah, and we're 2 minutes away from saying something I never thought I would say. Hafner, no shots yet in a half. I mean, you know, this guy just puts volumes of shots up. So far, hasn't even attempted a shot yet for the Saints.
Timaku Langan able to connect on the drive. Little backdoor action for Simon Fraser. And it's down to a 7-point lead for the Saints. It's been as big as 12. Here's Hafner with a touch. Now Thompson. Good defense here from Simon Fraser. Greeley on the drive, loses control of it. Reed can't corral it. And here comes Jamal Wright the other way. Spins toward the basket, leaves it off for Lyons, but got into the air and runs over the St. Martin's defender. Christian Hafner taking the charge for the Saints.
It's just right there, getting to the spot before the offensive player went up. Kind of more, I think he wanted to shoot the moment he went up and then realized he had a defender right there in front of him, and he just had nowhere to go.
That's the second foul on Jamal Wright, so he takes his seat. Back on the floor comes Wilfred Bellotta. Here's Nielsen Skinner. Now it's Greeley down low. Hesitates, now gets into the paint. His shot bounds up into the air, hung on the rim forever. Could have made a sandwich for as long as that was up in the air. Could have eaten it too. Greeley having himself a nice little first half. Bellotta, we haven't heard from him. He scored 6 points in the game's first couple of minutes. Looking for him here, but he can't control the pass. It rolls off his fingertips out of bounds. So Bellotta had 6 early points. He hasn't scored since. He does have a team high half dozen, along with David Penny. And Nielsen Skinny races the other way, tries to leave it off for Reed, is able to do it. But Nielsen Skinner crashes into the stands beneath the basket. Oh, dear. Fans will step away here for just a moment. 37-26 our score. Well, for the second time already in this first half, Jaden Nielsen Skinner has limped off the floor after incurring an injury. However, Both times he's gotten up under his own power and walked off. He is now being attended to. That's the bad news for the Saints, is that he's out of the game. The good news is it looks like he hopefully is going to be okay. The other good news for the Saints, Austin, we just got a 2-for-1 out of Nielsen's hustle effort, baseline to baseline.
Do we have a trademark yet on it?
Bellata raises from 16 and knocks down the mid-range jump shot. Thompson was giving him the space, and he took full advantage. The other way, it's Kyle Greeley. His shot falls off. Now Bellata has an opportunity for Simon Fraser. Kicks to the corner. 3 on the way. That bounds off. And that will bring us to the end of the first half. Highly entertaining, although not the highest scoring first half we've ever seen, but there was so much end-to-end action in this thing. That was a whole lot of fun to watch for the first 20 minutes of basketball action here in our second game of the night. Fans will step away for the halftime break, but please rejoin us in about 12 minutes' time for a look back at first half stats and a look ahead to second half action between Simon Fraser and St. Martin's on the Saints Digital Network. And welcome back inside Marcus Pavilion for the St. Martin's men's basketball halftime show. Jeff Lucero along with Austin Burns. Austin, that was a pretty entertaining first half. We didn't see quite as many points as I think we expected to see between two of the highest scoring teams in this league. We did see a lot of pretty electrifying firework type plays on either side. For the Saints, though, they do wind up with the advantage. 15 for 31 in that first half. They hit 4 of 7 threes. They're also doing a nice job controlling the glass. They're up 15-13. The stat for me continues to be the fact that they've got 12 assists now on 15 made baskets. At one point it was 12 for 13. 8 assists alone for Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. Brett Reed leading all scorers. He's got a dozen points in the first 20 minutes of this game. And a very encouraging sign as well. Here's Jaden Nielsen-Skinner back on the floor. He's had not one but 2 injuries that took him out of this game so far in this contest. He's been held scoreless. Tough shooting night for him. He's 0 for 6, but how great is it to see him out here taking shots at halftime warm-ups?
Yeah, he's a tough individual. I mean, it's going to take a lot to take him out of a game permanently. And for the Saints, you know, I think the only knock you could have on the Saints is, you know, they've had a lot of great offense out of like Brett Reed and Tyke Thompson, you know, Greeley and Spencer, but that's about it. Like, it's really top-heavy right now for the Saints. And this is a squad that averages about 5 or 6 guys in double figures. So you got to feel very confident in the fact that you're up by 9 and you haven't got any offense yet out of Skinner, points-wise, I should say, and Christian Hafner, who didn't even attempt a shot in the first half. So, I mean, you have 2 guys who can flat-out put 10, 12 points up in the half, no problem. And for Simon Fraser, they started red hot, and then they really started to come down to earth when the Saints defense made some adjustments, started taking away those inside lanes and forcing them to shoot that outside shot where they were 0 of 8. Simon Fraser needs to get back into that, setting up those cuts. Bellotta going towards the rack. That's when they were having a lot of their success early.
Well, David Penny had a nice first half, winds up with 6 points, but he does have no assists. He's second in the conference in assists per game. He's got 3 turnovers, so a bit of a rough assist-to-turnover ratio for him. Team high 8 points for Wilfred Bellotta. He had 6 points early, wound up hitting 1 more mid-range jumper to bring his total to a team high 8 in that first half. They're shooting 50% from the floor, but they did misfire on all 8 of their 3-point attempts. They've also got 11 turnovers in the first half, 7 of those off steals for the Saints. Jaden Nielsen with more assists in this game than all of Simon Fraser combined.
Well, and I'm blown away to see Penny with 0 assists.
Yeah,
I mean, again,
and 3 turnovers.
And 3 turnovers. I mean, he's one of the best point guards in the conference. Again, he doesn't have 2 of his biggest weapons on the floor.
True.
And that's really affecting him. And he's trying to do more offensively, I think, than he does on most nights. But again, I'm still surprised to see 0 assists. I think that's going to change, though, pretty quick. Make some adjustments here to start the second half.
It is Saints basketball to begin the second half. They're now moving it left to right on your radio dial. Skinny rolls off the screen, leaves it for Reed, who dives to the basket and lays it in. Assist number 9, quickly logged here to get things started here in the second half. Beautiful 2-man game to get things going.
Yeah, and they just used the switch off the screen, Reed rolling straight to the basket, and there's nothing the defense could do on that one. They need help side defense to roll over and take away that cut.
Penny flips a pass across. 3 on the way from Bellotta. Rims out Bryson there for the offensive glass. Put back, won't go, but tipped in over the top by Jamal Wright. Brilliant effort from Wright. A bucket apiece to get things going here in the second half. Nielsen-Skinner turns it over. Simon Fraser on the run out. Bellotta shot bothered, but Lions there for the putback. So a strong start here in the second half for Simon Fraser. They trail by 7, 39-32.
And we talked about Simon Fraser needing to get more action to the basket. Both their offensive sets have been exactly that to start.
Nielsen-Skinner rolls up a shot. So his first field goal is on the board after missing his first 6. Nielsen-Skinner finally into the scoring column for St. Martin's.
I think if you ask him, though, he's going to be happy with 9 assists over points any days of the week, though.
2 turnovers against those 9 assists. Now right in the corner for 3. Too strong. Brett Reed, after the rebound, winds up on the floor. It rolls out of bounds into the Simon Fraser bench. It will stay with Simon Fraser. I'm not sure why the shot clock would be at 30 seconds here.
Should be at 20. I think they're resetting now.
There it goes. Well, and now Aaron Landon wants a timeout. So just a minute and a half into the second half, and Aaron Landon calls for a timeout from the St. Martin's bench. It's a full timeout. We'll take it with him. 18:25 here to play in our contest. So 41-32 our score. Austin, Simon Fraser hanging around in this game without their top 2 players. You got to give Steve Hansen some credit for getting his guys going here without his 2 leading scorers and 2 just enormous post presence. I mean, literally enormous post presences for his team.
Yeah, I would have given anything to see both these squads completely healthy going at each other. You know, Simon Fraser, in my opinion, they're a top 3 squad in the conference. And when fully healthy, they got so many mismatches on the floor. They can beat you in so many ways. And again, you lose a 7-footer who can do everything on the floor. It's always going to be really tough to replace that, especially after not playing for a month as well. That's another thing.
Yep.
You know, no game action in a month.
Yep. Nielsen Skinner nearly forces the turnover and does. Bothers that pass, gets the ball flying around over in front of the Simon Fraser bench. How about a moment ago, the effort from Brett Reed, the Saints big man? He stepped into the passing lane, nearly came away with a steal. That was a heck of an effort from Brett Reed. Now a little horn set for the Saints. Hafner comes to get it. Leaves it off for Tyke Thompson. Back to the basket, dumps it down to Reed. Goes to work in the post. Goes left, finishes with the right. Put back won't fall, rips down another rebound, goes right back to the rack and lays it up and in. Brute strength and sheer perseverance from Brett Reed. Give him a game-high 16.
And there you see the size advantage. Just goes up and over the 2 defenders, doesn't quit. I mean, Aaron Landon, my favorite quote when he said about Brett Reed, this guy plays basketball like he's in a bar fight. I mean, he goes after the ball with just tenacity.
Gets another defensive rebound there. And it sets up the Saints at the offensive end. Nielsen Skinner crosses over, floats up a shot, hangs on the rim, won't fall, but a foul against Simon Fraser will keep it at the Saints' end. Brett Reed striding confidently over to his teammates and coaching staff. He'll take a well-earned break. Have a seat, Brett Reed. You've earned the right to cool off for a moment. Heck of an effort to get things going in the second half. Adams back on the floor. What's he going to do? Goes to his right, tries to pack it with one hand, but loses control in midair. And falling out of bounds is Jamal Wright. He's the last to touch it, standing on the sideline right in Aaron Landon's lap. As Kyle Greeley went flying into the stands right behind him. Oh my goodness, frenetic action. Frenetic. Good stuff.
Markey wishing he didn't have as long of a wingspan. Maybe just a half inch shorter, and that would have been a highlight, maybe submitting that one to Sports Center.
He sets the high screen here. Nielsen Skinners to his left. Steps back, now drives, leaves it off for Adams over the shoulder. Can Markey control it? He can't. Wilfred Bellotta corrals it for Simon Fraser. They bring it the other way. Just 3.5 minutes into the second half. It feels like we've already been playing for about 25 minutes. The first half flew past. I feel like the first 3.5 minutes of the second half have taken just about as long as it took to play the entire first half. Penny crosses over, kicks to the corner for Bellotta. His three on the way short. Thompson taps it to himself and hands it off to Nielsen Skinner. Nielsen Skinner counts to 5 very quickly, knows where all his dudes are on the floor. Now it's Hafner with it as the Saints settle into their half-court run. Greeley backs out. Skips off the screen from Adams. Adams sort of loafs into the paint. Thought they might set him up. Now 5 seconds on the shot clock. A long three on the way for Skinny. It bounds off the rim and out of bounds. And that'll bring us to a stoppage and play. 15:45. How are we just now getting to our first media timeout? 15:45 to play in our game, and the Saints with an 11-point lead. (43-32), our score in Game 2 tonight. By the way, we've got one final score to tell you about. It was a banner night if you're a Montana State Billings fan. They came in here and smoked the St. Martin's women's team 55-31 in our first game tonight. But how about the men at home taking on Seattle Pacific? They trailed by 3 at halftime, but absolute blitzkrieg in the second half. They outscore SPU 39-23 in the second frame for a going-away victory, 67-54 against the preseason favorites, Seattle Pacific Falcons. They're really reeling. It's been a really strange, just bizarre season for Seattle Pacific and their men's basketball program so far this year.
Yeah, they've been dealing with, obviously, COVID like everyone else, some injuries. I mean, it's been tough. And Marky Adams will head to the line to shoot two. But you know, it's kind of opened the door, and in all honesty, I said at the pregame show, whoever won this game for me, kind of target is on your back. You're kind of the best team in the conference, you know, and still, again, 15 minutes left to go, so a lot of things could change here. You know, Simon Fraser, though, if they could come on the road to Lacey without 2 of their best players and come away with a W, I mean, the rest of the conference, that's tough then when Simon Fraser can get back to full strength. And if you're the Saints, if you could go up 4-1 in conference play, 11-3 overall, I mean, and without Schumacher as well, come off with 2 big wins this week without Schumacher, you know, St. Martin's right there could be at the top of the conference. So, you know, Seattle Pacific going down, and with another loss here tonight, it's opened it up. And, you know, I think one of these 2 squads is going to be the top team after tonight.
Saints back in that 2-3 zone with both Adams and Reed on the floor. Simon Fraser able to work it around for an open look at a 3. Now Bellotta on the drive, a little bit of a Euro step as he makes his way along the baseline, but his pass whistles out of bounds into the hands of a teammate. The only problem is it was a teammate sitting on the Simon Fraser bench. That turnover gives it right back to the Saints. It's a dangerous spot right here for Simon Fraser. They trail by 12. They've yet to really establish much of an offensive flow here in the second half. Points have come at a preview. A low-scoring second half so far. Reed with a nice little hesitation move Adams with the strong offensive rebound. Goes right back up with it. Lots of contact inside. Is there going to be a whistle? There is not until now. Oh, my goodness. Adams got fouled at least twice on either of those shot attempts. No whistle blows, and then they call him for the offensive foul. That's a frustrating sequence. I understand why Marky Adams had some words there with the referees on his way back up the floor.
Yeah, he's had to fight through, I think, about 7 or 8 missed fouls, and those two were just blatantly obvious. That's a tough break there for the Saints, and Adams picks up his 3rd foul now.
Let's see what Simon Fraser can do against this 2-3 zone. 3 on the way. It's good. Much needed points from the hot hand for them tonight, Wilfred Bellotta. He's the first player into double figures for Simon Fraser. He's now got 11 after that long cast from the top of the key. Also brings the lead back to a manageable 9 points. Now Reed faces up, goes right to work. It's to the rack, leaves it short. Adams there, but loses control of it midair. Bellotta races the other way. Lions into the paint. Rolls up the shot, and it goes. He'll head to the line for the and one.
He's strong. I mean, it has been fun watching him here play here tonight. I mean, this guy, again, when you get Roche and Sig back, I mean, this guy at the 3 spot, I am assuming where he plays in the starting lineup, or even off the bench like they've been using him to start the year. Yeah, I mean, this team, they got a lot of weapons on the floor, that's for sure.
Well, a moment ago, we were talking about how it was a dangerous spot for Simon Fraser. They trailed by 12. The Saints had possession. All they've done since then is rattle off 5 unanswered points. Could have been 6, but Lions couldn't connect on the and one free throw opportunity. So the lead sits at 7 for the Saints. But Simon Fraser answered the call. They're right in this game, right in the thick of it. Hafner still looking for his first shot attempt. Now Reed on the drive. Spins to his left, goes to the left hand, but it rolls off the front of the rim. He's on the deck after the ball, but called for the loose ball foul.
And Adams had set like a makeshift pick inside, cleared the lane for Reed, just couldn't finish. And now we'll see Nielsen Skinner back onto the floor for Thompson, so that will set the Saints back into a more traditional lineup here. I think just trying to get a few minutes of rest for Nielsen Skinner, because that guy plays about 35 minutes a game. He doesn't get much rest. So they afford some minutes, but Simon Fraser makes a run.
He'll settle into that white right wing spot at the top of that zone. Now a 3 is connected. My goodness, Simon Fraser back within 4. 44-40 our score, 12:40 to play. Simon Fraser in the middle of an 8-0 run to get right back into this game. After the top of the key, bodied up. Wave off the basket. Tamaka Langen called for his 2nd foul. That's the 3rd on Simon Fraser. So 5 on the floor for the Saints. Brett Reed, Jaden Nielsen Skinner, Kyle Greeley, Marky Adams, and Christian Hafner. Skinny looking for some help. Finds Greeley. Shoulder down. Adams comes to set the screen. Now Greeley on the drive. Pulls up from the elbow extended. That shot falls off, but it bounces off a Simon Fraser player and will stay at the St. Martin's Inn. Fortuitous bounce off the heel of a Simon Fraser player who had just turned to start making his way back up the floor. Heck of an effort to try to save it in bounds.
And you had 5 Simon Fraser players go for that loose ball. Brett Reed just muscles his way into the middle and is able to get I think at least a finger or 2 on it to tip it out.
So both Reed and Adams exit. Goy Wang and Tyke Thompson back on. So the Saints with one of their smaller lineups available to them on the floor right now. Nary a true post player on the floor. Greeley gets into the rack. It's into the paint, I should say. makes his way to the rack, and he will be at the line shooting 2 foul shots when we return. It's a 44-40 lead for St. Martin's. And we've got a stoppage in play. "44-40 our score. It's Kyle Greeley, who was a little shaken up on that driving attempt a moment ago. He was able to scrape himself off the floor, and he's at the line. Unable to connect on the first of 2 foul shots. Second on the way, and it's good. So a 5-point lead for St. Martin's. They've cooled off, shooting now 40% in the game. They were just under 50% for the first half. It's Simon Fraser with a little bit of momentum as we near the halfway point of the second half. Penny shut off nicely by Skinny. 8 seconds on the shot clock as he goes to work. Wang switches off on him and commits the foul. That's the 5th on St. Martin's. And the 2nd on Wang in the game. Saints still going with that smaller lineup. 2 guards, 3 wings on the floor for the Saints. A kick to the corner. Now it's Joven Rye. 4 on the shot clock for Rye on the drive. Sets up Bellotta for 3, leaves it short. Thompson able to clear the rebound. Skinny on the run. Quickly ahead to Hafner. Saves it back inbounds to Greeley. Pump fake. He'll head to the line.
On that right there was Nielsen Skinner. Even though his pass was a little bit off the mark and Hafner couldn't set up in the corner, it still pushed the tempo forward, and Simon Fraser wasn't in position in time. And so the Saints, again, just pushing that tempo.
That's the thing I love so much about Skinny. You are on your heels basically no matter what whenever he's on the floor.
Well, and I like this lineup for the Saints because we were talking about a little bit at break. Saints have only attempted 1 3-pointer. I think they were kind of trying to force the ball too much down low, knowing they have some mismatches, forcing then some opportunities. And instead now going with the smaller lineup to try and get that ball flow back, try and get back into a rhythm. Also knowing they have a media timeout coming up, and I think that's after the media timeout when Reed or Adams will come back onto the floor.
3 straight free throws for Greeley, and the Saints re-extend the lead to 7. Now David Penny for 3. Unable to connect, but Rye there for the offensive rebound to keep the possession alive. Hang on a second. Referee stops the game to get the shot clock lined up. So 17 showing on the shot clock. 10:39 left in our game. The Saints lead it by 7. Bellotta in front of his own bench to inbound. Penny looking inside. Bellotta down on the low block, so with a mismatch, guarded by Hafner. Whistles a pass back outside. Now to the corner and a three on the way. It's good.
Every time the Saints start pulling away, start getting some momentum back, Simon Fraser, big-time three right there. And this game, wow, it's turning into a classic right here. I mean, these two teams have played some really good games against each other in the past. This one's going to come down to the wire.
Greeley skips to the corner for Hafner. A three on the way is good. It took 30 minutes exactly of this game for Christian Hafner to get off a shot. But he made his first shot attempt count in a big, big way. The Saints answer back after the quick strike three from St. Martin's. There's Hafner to light up the scoreboard for St. Martin's.
I mean, he's one of the best three-point shooters in the conference, and you kind of forgot about him here for the first 30. Now coming alive there with that shot, and it's going to force Simon Fraser to expand that defense.
Penny with the shot clock expiring. Leaves it short. Thompson another rebound. Skinny races forward. Dumps it off for Greeley. Three on the way. Good! Back-to-back threes for the Saints, and they're back to a double-digit lead at 53-43. The quick strike capabilities of St. Martin's on full display.
Oh, and Skinny just pushed the tempo, gets right into the middle of the lane. Simon Fraser collapses, and that allows a wide open look, the trailer. And he could have passed it off to Thompson. He was open as well at the top of the key. So the Saints had options all around the floor. And again, this is what the Saints do. This offense is so potent, so electric, and it can hit you in so many different ways.
How about Kyle Greeley with back-to-back monster performances? 16 in his last game, 15 here tonight, and still 9 minutes yet to be played.
Well, he's just a very efficient player, too. He's not going to go out there and take 15, 20 shots to get to his mark. Again, tonight, 5 of 9 from the floor, 2 of 3 from beyond the arc. I mean, he's just a very efficient scorer for the Saints, and it's one of those where you're so keen on trying to stop guys, usually like Schumacher and Reed, that you almost forget about Greeley, and he makes you pay, especially from the mid-range.
If you can believe it, those were just the second and third free throw attempts for Simon Fraser in this game. Without their two post players, they're just not really attacking the basket much at all. Bellotta only able to split the pair. Here's Skinny spinning to the paint. How in the world did he finish that? In traffic, Jaden Nielsen Skinner. Oh my goodness. That was utterly preposterous. Just a bonkers move from Skinny right there.
I don't know how he did it. I really don't. We're going to have to see a replay on that one.
Oh my gosh. I'm coming out of my shoes after seeing that stuff. Oh, and the ball rolls out of bounds off Penny's leg. He just loses control of it, making a move toward the basket. And Simon Fraser is suddenly a little out of sorts. Perhaps they're as dazzled by the play of Jaden Nielsen Skinner as I am. Holy crow, that was brilliant, brilliant stuff. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, and this is where Simon Fraser, you can't let this one start slipping away. You need a defensive stop here. Saints now back up to an 11-point lead in blink of an eye. This was a 4-point game just a little bit ago.
And they're doing it with both Brett Reed and Marky Adams still continuing to get some rest on the bench. Nielsen Skinner to the rack again. Back-to-back blazing layups for Jaden Nielsen Skinner with a big smile stretched across his face as he comes back and settles into a defensive posture at the other end.
Well, he knows he has 10 assists. He wants that double-double. He's going for it now.
And he gets a steal right here. Leads the break. Hesitates for a moment. They try to foul him from behind. No look pass to Thompson. He throws a no look pass of his own, but it goes right through the hands of Kyle Greeley. Oh, my goodness. What a fun team this is. If you've yet to come out and watch this team in person, I implore you, get on down here. If you're willing to come on, if you're willing to venture out of doors in the era of COVID, this team is well worth the price of admission. We understand if you want to just sit at home and listen to us buffoons babble on about how good this team is from the comfort of your own home. Oh, what a special season this is shaping up to be. 7:35 left, and it's the Saints with their largest lead of the game at 57-44. So 57 to 44 our score. If St. Martin's is able to hang on and get this victory, they will move to 4-1. It will be their 7th win in a row, Austin. St. Martin's in their first season under Aaron Landon, just 6 victories, 2-10 in the COVID-shortened season. They'll be 11-3 if they can hang on for this win. How about the quick turnaround that Aaron Landon is putting on here at St. Martin's University?
Oh, and it helps when you bring in Division I guys like Greeley and Skinner as well, those two guys. And, you know, kind of looking back, those teams under head coach Alex Pribble, when they were, 26 wins, making deep runs in the tournament, it was more just like systematic. They just went out there, they executed their game plan to a perfection, and they came away with a W. This team is flashy. They're fun to watch, and they're just so much. And there's Skinny going back to the line, drawing another foul. I mean, this team, there's just so much flash, and it's fun watching them play. And not saying that those teams weren't by any means. It was, that was a lot of fun watching Luke Chavez and E.J. Boyce, and the names go on and on. Matt Dolan just light it up, but this team here, there's just something about them. These guys, you can tell how much fun they have on the court night in and night out.
And here's the thing, too. A lot of these guys are going to be around for a few more years. We get Jaden Nielsen Skinner, just a sophomore. Kyle Greeley, just a sophomore. Tyke Thompson, just a sophomore. Christian Hafner, Alex Schumacher. These guys have a lot of youth. The only real true upperclassman on this team, Marky Adams.
And Brett Reed as well. So
Brett Reed,
two bigs, both seniors.
Also John Moore, who is a senior, played his first couple of seasons for Aaron Landon over at South Puget Sound, who has been hurt for much of this season. Barely got to play at all. We love John Moore. Really miss seeing him out there as well. Got to sneak in a John Moore reference on the broadcast whenever we can. Such a good dude, too. Man, I love John Moore. He's such a nice guy. Really wish he could be out there having some fun with his boys.
Really smart as well. I mean, NABC honors court. I mean, and again, it goes to show what these student athletes do, every single one of them. The grind it takes to be a student athlete at the Division II level, the classes, the performance on the field. John Moore is just a shining example. But there is Tyke Thompson.
Saints now breaking it open. Tyke Thompson raising for 3, and it's an 18-point lead for St. Martin's. Once again, they have found their offensive flow. How about Jaden Nielsen Skinner and his 11 assists in this game?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff. I think it's a 19-0 run for the Saints as well in this one.
Hanging and hitting. It's David Penny. Sadly, I am going to have to correct you.
No, is it not?
We were ahead 44-40, so it was an 18-4 run before that.
That math's hard. Very hard.
Math is very, very difficult. You're not wrong. John Moore could have figured that out very quickly, by the way.
Yes. Yes. That's why I'm calling the game, Jeff. Not,
Well, we're getting our first look tonight at Hunter Cruz Dumont, who's fresh on the floor for Simon Fraser. So Steve Hansen reaching a little bit further down his bench, trying to wring some late-game magic from whomever he can throw out there. I have to give Steve Hansen credit. We did not know until this afternoon that they were not going to be playing, and the Saints didn't even know that as well. Aaron Landon sharing that they had planned their entire game plan basically around stopping the two bigs, Jasdeep Singh and Julian Roche. Neither of them available tonight. Neither of them making the trip south. Nielsen Skinner good on the front end of the 1-on-1. He earns the bonus. So there was a lot of in-game adjusting. Coming up with a brand new strategy, really for either team.
Yeah, I think if you're a Simon Fraser fan, the fact that you haven't played a game in basically 5 weeks.
6 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, 5-6 weeks, and without your two best players on the floor, on the road as well, I mean, just go ahead and stack the odds as hard as you can against them. They played really, really well for about 25 25, 30 minutes of this game, and the Saints have just been able to pull away here in the, late here in the second half. But this Simon Fraser squad, again, when they're fully healthy, man, I would not want to face them. They are a dangerous squad, really good. And again, can't wait to see them fully healthy. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Dima Kulangan connects on another three. He's quietly put together a very nice game. He's got a team-high 13 points off the bench for Simon Fraser. We talked about in the pregame who's going to step up for this team. The guys that I had circled are two guys that have really not played particularly well tonight for Simon Fraser. I thought Jordan Lyons and Jamal Wright were both going to come out and have monster games for this team. They're both languishing in single digits. It's been an unsung hero like Dima Kulangan who's come in, and he all of a sudden leads this team in scoring. That's his third three of the game. He's played 21 minutes, so he's been on the floor a lot for this team, and he has been the one to make the most of his opportunities tonight.
Well, and when you have, some star rotation players out, it gives opportunities for other guys, and there you go, starting to make, his mark on the team. And again, this Simon Fraser squad, they're going to have a lot of games. Great move there by Skinny, dump off. I go ahead and put that one on a highlight reel as well.
Assist number 12 for Nielsen Skinner as he sets up Brett Reed. He's got a game-high 18 for the Saints. Brett Reed has 9 boards as well. He's working on a double-double, same as Jaden Nielsen Skinner. That three no good. Rebound Greeley. Nielsen Skinner kicks to the corner. It's Thompson down low for Brett Reed. Goes to work on Bellotta, gets into the air. He's tied up midair but fouled. Hunter Cruz Dumont. Give him credit for going up with the big man. Giving up a few inches to Brett Reed and several pounds. So Reed goes back to the free throw line. A game-high 18 points to go along with a game-high 9 rebounds so far for the transfer from Chaminade.
Well, you knew coming into this game he had the opportunity to really put it all together and lead this team, and he did. I mean, he got a lot of looks, 17 shots. That's the most of any player on the floor here tonight. And he's definitely had a lot. I think, if you ask him after the game, he thinks he should have been 12 or 13 makes from the floor. I mean, when he gets the ball down low like that, he expects to score almost every single time. But, he's played really well here tonight. Marky Adams as well. Like, both those guys have, really had to go through a lot, absorb a lot of contact. Simon Fraser very physical, knowing that they didn't have the size advantage. Playing very physical down low, and for St. Martin's, they were just able to take advantage of it. Here we go.
Nielsen Skinner almost throws it down. He wanted it. Oh, my goodness. I thought he might pack it for a second. Kind of maybe a little bit of indecision midair. Now Reed runs the break for the Saints. No look pass to Thompson. Steps inside the three-point line, raises for 14, and it rattles home. A timeout called by St. Martin's, more just to regroup, maybe get some fresh bodies on the floor perhaps. By the way, Velko Illich and Champ Spencer on the floor for the Saints for the first time here in the second half for the last couple of possessions.
You think his teammates are going to let that one off easy, right, in the locker room? Like, Jaden's going to be walking in the locker room, and the guys are going to have to give him, hey, despite the fact, don't worry, double-double, 12 assists, but you can't miss that one, I mean, I love watching it, though. I mean, it's just these guys having so much fun out there.
I'm just smiling right now. Look at my face, Austin. I am grinning so hard. I'm cheesing so hard because this team makes me so happy. I'm so happy for the job that Aaron Landon has done in such a remarkably short amount of time. We thought this was the right hire. There's a lot of people out there that were like, can a guy go from the CC ranks to coaching at the D2 level? That is a significant jump. But Aaron Landon has absolutely silenced any and all criticism. There's no questioning that decision now. He was absolutely the right guy for this job.
No, and we got to remember the fact that he came into this team that had basically 3 players on it when he took it over.
Yeah.
I mean, they lost everything from back-to-back deep
6
runs.
seniors and 2 enormous transfer losses.
Yep.
He built this program right back from scratch.
Yeah, I mean, and, there were a lot of games, 2 years ago, we were looking at, you could tell like the framework is there. If he can get the pieces, we know it can all come together. It's coming together right now for the Saints. And it is mid-January. There's still a long way to go in this season. Eye on the prize, though, is to be playing on this floor for a GNAC championship in that first week of March. And the Saints, they came into this week, Western Washington, Simon Fraser. If they could come away with 2 W's, that's going to be right there in their crosshairs playing for that GNAC championship, and they put themselves in a great spot.
4 players in double figures now for the Saints. By the way, that last steal for Jaden Nielsen Skinner, his 4th of the game, doing it all at both ends. Here's Elich. He goes to work down in the post and feathers up. A little one-handed jump hook.
Oh, you love that old school basketball.
That's good stuff. And looking like George Zedek from back in the old UCLA days. Oh, yeah, I'm dating myself there, but hey, I'm old. What can I say? In the corner, this is Dylan McPhee on the floor. His first run of the night. His 3 falls off, and that will bring us to a stoppage in play, but at this point, the Saints firmly in control. A 21-point lead for St. Martin's with 3:36 yet to play. St. Martin's just 3 minutes and 36 seconds away from their 7th victory in a row with a win tonight. If they're able to hold on, and it's going to take a miraculous comeback from Simon Fraser to prove it otherwise. They're going to be 4-1 in the GNAC, Austin, and basically in not the driver's seat, but certainly in early control of things here in the GNAC.
Yeah, I mean, what it does is it paints a target on your back. Every team in the conference understands for them to move up the rankings, they got to take you down. And so the Saints, they were the underdog coming into this season in the preseason poll. This team never doubted themselves. If you ask any one of them, they knew how good they were but despite that preseason ranking. But again, for the Saints, you had to buckle up in these 2 games. These were 2 really hard teams to beat. And Simon Fraser, when they get fully back healthy, they're going to be a dangerous squad, that's for sure. This is not a team I'd want to, have as the 4 or 5 seed. They could easily make a run in the GNAC tournament once they're fully healthy.
Brett Reed heading back to the free throw line. We're going to go our first look at Marcus Linker here in just a moment. He will step onto the floor for his first burn this evening. Reed looking right and true on that first free throw. And by the way, he's got another rebound. Credit Brett Reed now with a double-double. 18 points, 10 rebounds now in this contest. Good on both free throws for Brett Reed, and he will make his way off the floor for likely the final time tonight. Good, solid, well-deserved ovation for Brett Reed as he makes his way down the high-five line on the St. Martin's bench. 23-point lead for the Saints. They are going to move to 4-1 in the GNAC. How about that? Remember, this is a team that went 3-17 in the GNAC in the last full season of GNAC basketball 2 years ago. Now 4-1 to start things off, and this will be their seventh victory in a row.
I mean, they are absolutely on fire, and there's no doubt about that. I mean, Western Washington, to be able to post a double-digit win against them, take down, a shorthanded Simon Fraser team, but to be able to run away in the second half. And, this game was not a blowout by any means. This was a close game for most of this game.
Yeah, St. Martin's just kind of leaned on this depleted Simon Fraser squad over the course of the second half, just wore them down. I mean, Simon Fraser, give them a lot of credit. They were game for much of this contest. They hung right around. They made their adjustments. They played to their strengths with the guys they had on the floor. But in the end, just too much talent on the St. Martin's side of the basketball. Josh Camper now on the floor for the Saints as Jaden Nielsen-Skinner steps away for likely the final time tonight. So good to see Josh Camper and Marcus Linker both on the floor for St. Martin's, along with Champ Spencer and Velko Elich. A turnover out near midcourt, but Champ Spencer gets it right back.
Game of foosball almost for a second.
It was getting kicked around. I'm the world's worst foosball player, by the way, just apropos of nothing. All I want to do is do the spins, which you're not supposed to do. And I lose basically every foosball game I ever play. I'm an absolute turd at foosball.
Yeah, if you can get that one goal where you just hot shot, 70 miles an hour, that's all that matters,
That's what I play for. That's what I live for, Austin. How about Velko Elich at the line? He tees up his first free throw attempt of the night.
Oh, he's just not getting a whole lot of minutes this season with guys like Reed and Adams in front of him, but moving forward, he's going to be a big part of the Saints' future. Played at a very high-end community college in Utah Eastern. That's where Hafner played a little bit of ball as well. And so, again, just kind of backed up in minutes right now, but he's going to be a big piece for the Saints moving forward.
That's his first made free throw in his collegiate career. He'd come in only with 2 free throw attempts on the season. Those were his next 2, and he splits the pair, his first ever made free throw for St. Martin's. Again, one of the only other games tonight, we had a lot of games postponed as well. Montana State Billings taking down Seattle Pacific 67-64 over in the Mountain Time Zone. That's a very significant game in the GNAC standings. Central Washington is at Alaska tonight. That game tipped off at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, Central Washington, very good squad as well. They're putting together a good start to the season, and Alaska is one of the best players in the country in Shabazz. I mean, that's going to be another fun game to watch.
So Jordan Lyons remains on the floor. Look at Goy Wang run the floor. Big man's got some handles. Now Champ Spencer with it. Clears himself some space. Camper comes to get it. 8 on the shot clock as Josh Camper goes to work. Hands it off for Spencer. Got to get a shot off here quickly. Long 2 on the way. Splash! Champ Spencer with 8 points tonight as well. Hit a couple of threes in the first half. Connects on the mid-range shot there. Really like what I've seen out of Champ Spencer early on in his freshman campaign for the Saints as well.
Yeah, he's really just developing in front of our eyes. I mean, usually you see jumps like that in the offseason, and from the beginning of the season to now, Champ Spencer really solidifying himself as kind of that third weapon off the bench when the Saints are fully healthy. And he's just getting better and better. And these are games, again, played at a very high level at high school. Out of Sumner, just nearly unbeatable, that squad. And he was a huge reason for it. Now, again, starting to get more and more minutes, getting more acclimated to the Division II style of play and physicality. And he's got a great shot, great outside shot. When you're 6'7" and can shoot like that, man, that opens up a lot of options.
A minute to play now. All that's left to sort out is our final margin of victory for the Saints. Win number 7 in a row as Josh Camper gets into the scoring ledger for the Saints.
Oh, that's a great moment for Josh Camper there. Missed some time earlier this season. Great.
Those are his first points of the season as well. Camper has only seen the floor for 2 minutes so far before tonight's action. Had attempted just one shot, but he knocks that one home. And of the Saints that have seen action on the floor, only Marcus Linker and Goy Wang have yet to score. They'll probably run at least one more play here. There's still 40 seconds left in the game. So the Saints can still have one more full-bore possession here. They set up Spencer in the corner for 3. Got it! Champ Spencer is going to wind up in double figures tonight. Give him 11 points. 3 threes, and another long-range 2. Champ Spencer in 15 minutes becomes the 5th Saints player on the night. Make it the 6th Saints player on the night to reach double figures. What a win this is. Number 7 in a row, and a turnover will ice things out. Marcus Linker gets the steal. The Saints now content to dribble things out. Win number 7 in a row for the Saints. Say it with me now. Your first place St. Martin Saints. Your first place St. Martin Saints, 4-1 in the GNAC, all alone atop the GNAC standings.
No, it's fun. It's fun, Jeff, that's for sure. What a week for the men's squad. Putting it all together. And exclamation point 25-point victory. Oh, that game on Monday, that's going to be a fun one up in Seattle. The Saints are rolling.
Well, we'll talk about that with head coach Aaron Landon, but there's so much to talk about this game. One more time, folks, your first place St. Martin Saints earn their 7th victory in a row. Don't go anywhere, folks. The St. Martin's men's basketball postgame show is coming right up, and we'll hear from Saints head coach Aaron Landon in just a moment. Stay with us. And welcome back inside Marcus Pavilion, and we are joined by what I can only assume is a very happy head coach for St. Martin's men's basketball, Aaron Landon. Coach, what a game. Everything kind of changed. You sent me the text early, a couple hours before the game, to let us know that those two bigs for them were not going to play. They were, of course, who you built your entire game plan around, so you had to just chuck that completely. Well, give Steve Hansen a ton of credit. They had to make a lot of adjustments, and they stayed in this game for a very long time with you guys, particularly in the first half.
Steve Hansen is one of the best coaches in our conference. He's really good, and you look at this, the box score. We shoot it well from three. We're 8 for 12. So when you're shooting it that well, you don't just want to shoot 12 threes. When you've got our team, you want to hunt down threes. They did a really, really good job. Taking away the three-point line, I thought Coach Hansen and their staff did a really, really good job. Just sort of making sure that we weren't able to find Christian Hafner, who's really been key for us, especially as a starter. Letting him, get going early, that's deadly. And they did a really, really good job game planning, especially without their best player. But we're kind of doing a similar thing, without Schumacher, just trying to figure out, how we can play. And I think everybody's sort of going through it at some point, at least in this season. So fortunately, we were able to play good defense in the first half and start figuring out how to score it in the second half.
Well, you mentioned Schumacher out for this game and for Thursdays as well. He, of course, was the hero a week ago tonight when you guys were down, over at Billings a week ago. But the thing that was most impressive to me in the first half for you guys as well, at one point you had 12 assists on 13 makes. Now that number wound up at a more manageable, more reasonable 18 assists on 29 makes. But how about that? You had 12 assists on your first 13 made baskets tonight. You guys did such a great job of finding the open man and sharing the basketball in the first half.
Yeah, our guys have really good chemistry. Pretty much all we're talking about is just defending. Whether it's just setting a ball screen or, we've been joking around. We've been trying to run new stuff every week to figure out, how we can kind of manage scoring and just sort of how we can manufacture buckets, especially with that two big lineup. But who am I kidding? Our best lineup is set Skinny a ball screen and let them figure it out. They pass it, they make the extra, and we've got a bunch of guys that want to make plays for each other. My frustration with the first half is our assist numbers were up, but we turned it over like 8 or 9 times. Yep. And we've been having that conversation, at least with the returners, like for a couple years now. Our success isn't going to be about just assists. It's just about cutting turnovers, and it's we're probably going to be out of the top 5 tonight, but we've been in like the top 3-4 nationally in terms of assist to turnover ratio, and just taking care of the ball. If we're not playing for assists, we're probably going to be running better offense, and the assists just sort of happen because guys share it. But I thought we tried to get a little bit too heroic with our passing and transition, and just need to play a little bit more simple when we're running down the floor, and let Skinny make more of those decisions, and should be able to cut some of those turnovers.
Well, Skinny's one of those guys that it seems like I always want to talk about with you post-game because he does such a masterful job of controlling everything on the floor and setting guys up for open looks elsewhere. He does wind up with 12 assists, 4 steals, 49. But I want to switch it up for a moment and talk about the other Portland State transfer, Kyle Greeley, who has turned in back-to-back, really perhaps unsung, a little unheralded performances, but he's put up 16 and 15 for you in the last couple of games. He's really, really starting to come into his own here in your program.
Yeah, I talked to him on Friday because I felt like I was really yelling at him on Thursday night about blocking out Luke Lovelady, who was really good on the offensive glass. And then I looked at the box score after the game, and I told him he wasn't rebounding, and he's got his 5 rebounds, and he was 7 for 11 on Thursday night.
Mm-hmm. 5 for 9 tonight.
Yep, and he doesn't turn it over, and he just figures out how to make winning plays. So he's just such an awesome kid. I feel like I never notice his impact on the game. You just feel comfortable with him on the floor, and then you look at the stats and you just figure out he's so efficient in a quiet way. But he's been an awesome kid, man. Kyle Greeley was like the first kid this spring to commit to us, and he really got our other recruits, you know, excited. You get a Division I transfer early in the spring. You know, he had a ton of people recruiting him, and he just, you know, wanted to come here, and he's just been a super loyal guy all the way through. So, yeah, he's been really good for us on the floor, and just really happy that he's on our side.
Well, I know that you didn't know until you got up here right before we went on air for the postgame show that Seattle Pacific had lost their game against Montana State Billings, and that's your next matchup. Monday afternoon up in Royal Braun Pavilion, you're going to get a very unhappy Seattle Pacific Falcons squad. Tell me right now, what are you already looking forward to in that matchup? What are you starting to game plan for? What kind of schemes do you want to throw at them, and what do you expect to see right back from them against you?
I mean, they'll try to kill us. They just lost, and they're really good, and they've got, you know, all the expectations on them to win the conference. So they've got a high standard of play, and they are sort of the yeah, I mean, they're the conference champion.
Sure.
They didn't get to go to the national tournament last year because they couldn't travel, but doesn't matter what their record is right now. It's too early in conference, and right now, you know, on paper, they've got all the best players, right? They've got 3 all-conference players. Moffitt's the preseason MVP. They've got Shaw Anderson. They've got Harry Cavill. They've got incredible tradition. It doesn't matter what happened tonight, right now, and until somebody else wins the conference, everything goes through Seattle Pacific. We're lucky that we're winning some games and that we're in a position to, you know, go play a really meaningful road game up in Seattle. We just talked about before tonight, if we go 1-0, we get to walk in there with some real confidence, and yeah, it'll be a really tough road game, but we need that right now.
Well, you're not just walking in there with a ton of confidence. You're walking in there, Coach, as the first place team in the GNAC. 4-1 is good enough for first place by at least a full game now in the standings. I know it's very, very early, but this is your 7th win in a row. This team now sits at 11-3 on the season, at 7-game winning streak, and 4-1 in the GNAC. Coach, you're coaching right now, the first place team in the league. How does that feel?
It's awesome where we're at right now. It's just so early, Jeff. I mean, it's
you got to take at least a moment to
absolutely
admire the situation you're in, I hope.
I told our guys after we after we came back from break, I said, you know, if you guys win this game against Billings, you know, technically we're sort of up there at the top of the conference, and then you can just have the conversation about what 1-0 does and what 1-0 does, and when you win, the conversation about what going 1-0 does becomes really exciting, right? If we go 1-0 on Monday, you know, we'll feel like we're, you know, holding that spot. So that's incredible. That, you know, that's an awesome conversation to have with our guys. I thought we didn't play so great tonight, especially the stretch where we had Markey and Brett in the second half, couldn't figure out how to score, and that's when they made their run. So we've got a ton of work to do, but it's a testament to our players. They've made that conversation about going 1-0 really, really interesting. They've made St. Martin's basketball really, really exciting.
Yeah.
And I just feel like we have the right group of guys in the program right now, and it's just really fun to come to work every single day and coach these guys.
Well, it sure has been fun to watch this. Like 7 wins in a row, that's the most in 2 years for this team. That 26-6 team a few years ago, it's the last time that we've seen a win streak that long. It's pretty special that you've gotten things clicked into place so quickly. Feeling so good about where this program's at right now, Coach. You've brought the luster right back here. This is good stuff.
Our players have done it. I mean, let's not get it twisted. I didn't score any points, and I can't guard anybody in this gym on either team. We have really, really
Austin
good.
could take you.
Fair enough. Maybe now that he's healthy. We have really good basketball players, and they're just focused on the right stuff. We've got really, really good kids, and that's why it's fun to work with them. And honestly, that's why we're good. Tonight, we weren't doing anything magical. We let our point guard make a bunch of decisions. He got 12 assists. So it's not like I was running an offense where everybody was just able to, make assists. We've got the right players making the right decisions. We've got some toughness on our front line, and that's why we're good. So just excited to throw a big challenge at these guys. I told them this is going to be like the NBA bubble where you're going to play 3 games in a week, and it's just going to be about momentum and who can figure out how to come together the quickest in the weirdest circumstance. And we're just lucky to have a season. There's all these cancellations that we see, so just happy to play on a Saturday night. It was awesome to have the band back and see the fans out.
Well, speaking of those right players, Coach, let's get you down to the locker room so you can go enjoy, just relish this win with those dudes. Go down there and celebrate with your first-place ball club, Coach. Congratulations on a fantastic couple of games this weekend.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Jeff. We'll see you guys soon.
You got it. That is head coach Aaron Landon stopping by with some post-game thoughts. The first-place St. Martin Saints, 4-1 now in the GNAC, Austin.
I mean, Coach said it all. I mean, it's a lot of fun, for us here as commentators to get to call this, and real flashbacks to 2-3 years ago. But it's a long way to go,
yeah.
and Seattle Pacific, like you said, the conference runs through Seattle, and so a win up there, that's historically been very tough for the Saints to go in there and get a win like that. So this is a Seattle Pacific squad that's going to be hungry to come out and go, oh, you think you're the number one team in the conference? We'll show you. And so, it's going to be must-watch basketball on Monday.
Absolutely. I cannot wait to tune in for that thing. Heck, I might even just drive up and watch it in person. Might have to do that. That's going to be such an exciting game. And all of a sudden, it's like at least at this point in the season, it's kind of the game of the year to this point in the GNAC. Seattle Pacific hosting St. Martin's in a game that had to be rescheduled. That game, again, is going to be held Monday afternoon up in Seattle. Get there if you can. If not, it will be available online. Just go to the Saints schedule, tune in for that one. Austin and I will not be on the call, as that is a road game, of course. But, man, you've got this team. How can you not turn away from watching this team every chance that you get going forward? This is such an electrifying, special group of players, Austin.
Yeah, and then, again, this is a lot of these bonds have been, coming up all the way through AAU ball and stuff. So, these guys, they're friends. They're getting to play basketball at a high level together. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yep.
And 2 wins here this week, that's going to go ahead and put the Saints on the map in terms of regional rankings. And we don't want to start looking too big picture here, but the Saints are putting themselves at the top of that GNAC championship and maybe even a run into the NCAA tournament.
After the game on Monday afternoon against the Falcons, St. Martin's is on the road next week at Central Washington and Northwest Nazarene. They do not return home until January 27th, so it's going to be a little while before we see the Saints back here in Marcus Pavilion. So 3 road games between now and the next home tilt for this Saints program. That is going to do it for us tonight. If you want to take a look at the stats in this one, head on out to the website. Everything's updated. Everything's ready for you. Have a gander at the final numbers on this game. Once again, it's St. Martin's with an impressive victory, going away 80-55 against Simon Fraser in the nightcap here tonight. That's going to do it for us here this evening. On behalf of Austin Burns, our executive producer, Sydney Henderson, and everyone else in the St. Martin's Athletic Department, this is Jeff Lucero signing off for now. We'll see you in about 12 days' time for more St. Martin's Hoops from inside Marcus Pavilion. Have a great rest of your holiday weekend. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day on Monday, everybody. And don't forget to tune in for that Saints game at Seattle Pacific on Monday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Good night, everybody.